We now return to Reckoning of New York. Hopefully, we're gonna speed along here. Today, the void feels almost comfortable, warm, soft, smothering, so much so that I don't want to wake up. Why would I? But I can't stay here forever. I need to wake up. I have to. I must. I climb my way out of sleep, pointlessly gasping for breath. It takes me a long while to calm down. My nerves are frayed. They snag on my thoughts. Patty is scared. I check the windows and discover some time has passed since sunset. Urban landscapes never cease to amaze me, especially in a city as big and lively as New York. So many lights, cars, sounds, people rushing around no matter the hour. Such a stark contrast to the era of my mortal life. I can sense Kali is awake now, but she seems to be in the mood for brooding. I leave her to it and calmly watch the nightlife outside the window until she pounds her fists into the couch. A hollow thunk fills the room. Cut to the chase. Let's go. They're probably waiting for us already. What's the rush? It's not your head. That's not your head that's at stake here. True, but I promised I'd stand by you, remember? Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just worn out. Freaking out. Understandable, after all she's been through in the past nights, she has the right to be exhausted and afraid, desperate like a rabbit caught in a hunter's snare. Listen. She rolls her eyes. If you're gonna start with that, just stay firm. I'm not done talking. Voice turns firm, cool, curt. So much so she obediently closes her mouth. Well, I wish I'd discovered this trick 3 nights ago. Look, I can't promise you a rosy outcome, no pep talk either. You're too clever for that. What I can promise is that I'll be there for you. Do my best to convince the council to let you go. She just nods, somewhat dazed. I'm happy to provide comfort as long as I'm able to. Are you ready? Let's go. We head to the car in silence. No words pass between us. Kali seems scared. Bad omens, the night of reckoning. I promised Kali I would stand by her, and I fully intend to keep my word. Come what may. We come upon the ambush here. We drive mostly in silence, which suits me just fine. I pull up a few blocks shy of the Elysium. Why are we stopping here? Let's get some fresh air. She just nods with a hint of relief. The walk is quiet, just a crunch of snow underfoot, and the looming skeletons of buildings around us that remind me of dead trees. The irony isn't lost on me. Mired in my thoughts, sounds of a heated discussion from one of the sites completely evade my notice. Who the fuck does construction at this hour? Nobody, of course. Shh, this way. I pull her sharply towards the fence. Who's the hunter? Who's the prey? Shut up. I see 3 mortals with worn-out clothes engaged in a conversation. Great, a bunch of thieves. Let's keep moving. Not sure they're just thieves. Eyes narrow. They may be undercover. I think hunters, probably a scouting party. This close to the Elysium? We spy on them. Dash into the building. I look over at Kali. Let's go after them. Not sure. Please, you made up your mind. Right. I have a bad feeling about this. We run up the floors. 3 hunters are in the room. Holy shit. Quiet among the wires. Military equipment. I don't think that's who these people are. Okay, what's our play? Stay low. I'll only take a moment. I go kill a bunch of people. Dementia. Heed my call. I don't try to search for words most impactful, exotic, or loud. The right ones come to me as if they were waiting to be released, received by the waiting ears of the hunters. I whisper simple, cutting truths nobody wants to hear, but they do. Alright, go through this. We kill a bunch of people. Pedrick behind you. Are you okay? And then let's move on. Let's see. They mapped out everything. They know the art hole inside and out, down to the last crew. So the plan long in the making. Okay. What do you see? Hunters, loads of them. Okay, great. We must alert the council immediately. All units, take your position. Cully glances at me. Don't just stand there. We run through the hound, and we just kind of make our way here, and then we do this nonsense, and then we finally say hunters, and then all go. Really not necessary. 3, 2, 1. The last image seared into my memory is Kali's face just before. I pull on Kali's arm, still staggering from the initial blast, and drag her away from the ruins of what once was the crown and glory of the Camarilla. Elysium is now just a husk, its grandeur swallowed by ferocious flames. Thick smoke spirals into the sky. She seems lost in a trance. Kali, snap out of it. Yeah, we break into a run, we pass Arturo, we pass the leader, kill this dude. I guess mesmerize, obey. Up and down now. Okay, and then Kadir kills him. Reveal temperament. See his true self. With my eyes at Kadir, I guess. I mean, my vision converges with other senses, reaching towards omniscience, and what unfolds before me. The ruthlessness with which he dispatched his previous victims chills me to the core. Alright. We managed to settle him down, or at least Julia does, and hey, we're heading over to the new place. Relentless echo of gunfire fades, now replaced by a distant, mournful wail of police sirens. Keep going. Find a bunch of bodies. This is where we come across the other person, Valerie. After a half an hour march, we take a break near an abandoned dump amid rubble and crumbling walls. Right, and there's other people on the other side, right? Alright, Julia's confronted by the strange hunter. I clicked a little too fast, but whatever, I think they're both the same thing. What? Oh, this time he didn't flee. And then what? In one fluid motion, the hunter draws a six-shooter. The crack of gunfire shatters the eerie silence. Sensation is a wrecking ball striking right through my lifeless heart, severing the connection between my feet and ground. And darkness, there's nothing, a void without sound, but the darkness, I can feel it swirling, churning around me like ink, seeping into this boundless expanse. Is this how it ends? It's not the end. Strange, because it's exactly how I imagined it would be. Open your eyes. My eyes are open, but I see nothing. Then open your mind. I let go of reason, relaxing ever so slightly, and I feel someone touches the essence of what I am, pulling me back from the brink, and I yield. Voices are staying uncharacteristically silent. Not that I'm complaining, I just know it won't last very long. As we head toward the hideout, I find my hand instinctively reaching for the wound, much like a tongue probing the gap left by a recently extracted tooth. The wound is healing, slowly but surely. By sheer luck, the seasoned hunter had loaded his sidearm with conventional ammunition instead of something fine, deadlier. I recall the sorry state of his barely discernible remains. Kali gave a throwaway explanation involving animals or something to that effect, which I did not have the ability to use. I wasn't in any state to pay attention, so amid our chaotic escape, there's never a suitable moment to ask what exactly happened. So just to clarify, random animals came to your aid and attacked the hunter. Kali shrugs nonchalantly and adjusts her hold on Julia, who's limping between us. See, I mean, once again, the story changed just a little bit, but the consequences didn't. Oh, cut the bullshit. Modesty's not a good look on you. I didn't fucking know, okay? It just happened, honestly. I just looked at him and wished rats would eat him alive. I don't know how Kali managed to subdue that hunter. My efforts barely scratched his ironclad resolve, and given her lack of experience, I shouldn't have been able to either. Okay. Mortals sometimes display extraordinary strength in moments of crises. Okay. I'll just say thank you. That's twice you've saved me. Well, whatever. Look at you, too, and your domestic bliss. Okay. Nadir. We survived, mostly because Kali saved our skins. With luck, this will play out in her favor, despite my inner voice's vehement disagreement. And this is where we come along and we say that no, actually, we've been betraying her this whole time. Oh, right. Meanwhile, we end up in a cell while they argue. Was that before or after? Torque's domain. Ugh. What, cat cut your tongue? Thought you loved running your mouth off, huh? Like some eager little bitch wagging your tail for your masters. You ain't gonna tell me that knife in your throat's making things difficult, are you? Speak the fuck up. Yeah, what's that? Sounds like a fucking mutt whining. Bark for me, why don't you? Fucked up. I let all you down and I'm fucking sorry, but typical as always, fucking butts with you. Not like this. Not when everything's going to shit. Please, you gotta hear Pedrick out. Shut up. Just shut up. Ever since that pretty boy wormed his way in, you've gotten even more spineless, telling us to lick the Dramarias boots. Hold back, we can mend fences. It's all for the better future for all anarchs. Pure fucking bullshit. I'd never go to hell, Torque, and take your fucking caution with you. Yeah, don't. Mark my words, y'all. You act like a dog, you die like a dog. Killed him. Presumably. I don't know. It just happened off screen, so we can't be sure. The Interim Elysium. Thick concrete. Right, okay, so we're down. We're down in the cell listening for this, and this is where they reveal that, aha, it's all but a ruse. All but a trick. Its argument dies down. They're coming for us. Here we are. Okay. I'm here. Didn't I swear to stick by you? Sure. Rice, this keeps going. Free to leave now, Kate, if I take you. You've lingered in the basement long enough, inform your Baron friend. That's how it's going to be. Not done here. I intend to. I'll take responsibility. All three of those options were literally the same thing. Alright. As for the other misdemeanors of your sire, your now panel in comparison, we've gathered info. We need to douse the true flame. Downplay her role, redirect his attention, deflect. Redirect his attention, I guess? I don't know. That's why we should focus on the blaze, lest it consumes us whole. The sins of Kali's sire burn bright, while hers barely flicker. She looks at me in disbelief. It's hard to watch, so I keep my eyes on Kadir. We've achieved our aim by taking advantage of her limitless naivety. I think it's time to release her. I'm trying to help you, Kali. Stop making that face. Kadir raises his blade again. Knowingly or not, she was complicit in Castle's crimes. In my eyes, that warrants capital punishment, right? Do what you must. As if compelled, I take a step forward, putting myself between them. Now is not your time. Stand firm. Okay. Her death achieves nothing it won't deliver. Castle in your hands. Serves no purpose other than to satiate your thirst for carnage. Put that anger to good use. Why not feed yourself on punishing those who really deserve it? Kali remains paralyzed. Mine are the stupid fledglings and truly worth a fallout. Okay. Now for fuck's sake. Release her, Sheriff. Good. Go. Okay. Let's just speed this along until the inevitable demise and confrontation. Okay. The conversation. We all deserve our goodbyes. Kali's motorhome seems like the most likely spot where I still have a chance to catch her before she flees. New York. We're good. The voice implies as much, at least. I managed to track Kali's RV down without much trouble, the voice leading me around like a dog on a leash. Still, I approach the car slowly, hesitantly. I don't know what to tell her. I should probably start with an apology, but what then? It's not as if I can divulge all the information she'll likely request. Some things should remain secret, even to oneself. I'm an undead heartbeat away from just getting on with it, when a strange sound reaches my ears. No, not strange, just unfamiliar. There's someone else in the RV with Kali. I should probably go. She doesn't owe me a goodbye, nor is she obliged to listen to my explanations, and eavesdropping is just so decorous. However, I drop on my knees and silently creep closer. Groundwork, but we must need to improvise. That's where you come in. That tone of voice, deceptively light, manipulative, and downright vile. I need someone sharp, someone with a knack for thinking on the fly, someone who, could it be? That's us, Kali. We'll dance around treacherous thugs and snatch that vial right from under their noses. A flood of thoughts rushes through my brain so fast I feel myself getting dizzy. What's going on? Why would Castle appear now? Was he waiting for the attack on Elysium? Was he directly involved? So, what do you say? Did Kali know all along? No, that's preposterous. I saw how genuinely heartbroken she was by our discoveries. And yet, I hope she was being genuine at least, but perhaps it was all one big masterful con? It doesn't seem that way. She's not answering Raynard's questions. What does he want from her again? To join his heist? Castle laid the groundwork for something to trick Vritra's thugs? Yes, to get the vial, whatever that is. I remember Vritra saying that Castle's been working on some delicate matters for her. It seems those matters matter not to him. Castle plans to dupe her. Oh, the irony. All he needs is Kali to play her part in this plan. Think about it, Kali. It's not just about doing the job, it's about proving we're the shit, fulfilling our true destiny. An absolute asshole, but Kali keeps silent for a while. Stupid Kali, think about it carefully. You know he's a crook. Listen to reason, Kali. So, you in? What do you think, asshole? Never a straight answer with her, is it? But Castle seems to be satisfied. I hear him get up and leave. Look of shadows, don't move a muscle. I freeze in place, staring wide-eyed at the door of the RV, perfectly invisible against its ghastly paint job. Castle exits the RV a few minutes later, followed by a huge Doberman that sticks to his legs like glue. As they both disappear into the night, I can't help wondering if Castle treats all his minions well, or if their blind devotion is simply the result of grooming. My thoughts are soon interrupted by Kali driving away in her RV. Well... I mean, is this going to change history? Like, what? I guess we go after her. Before I can even formulate a thought, I sprint after the vehicle, but just as suddenly I come to a halt. I'm utterly, insufferably confused. What should I do? So, it didn't fucking matter. We just stand there, confused, or we go and then we stop anyway. Yes, lad, go. Run, run, run. What if I go? What if I stay? Do something. Easy, Fionn. Easy. All right. Calm down and think. Damning intel we dug up on Castle paints him in an inexcusably bad light. And as reckless as she may be, Kali's not naive, even though her sire seems to be one of her blind spots. Why would she still follow Castle, given everything she knows now? Hasn't she learned from past mistakes? Any trouble Castle stirs up ultimately traces back to Vritra and, by unfortunate proxy, to me. What a mess, and that's all his damn fault. Or is it? It seems Castle's merely intending to interrupt the heist already put in motion by Vritra. She embodies every quality past shady on the spectrum of vileness. Can I really say she's any better than Castle? I nearly slapped the side of my head. What a silly question. I need to stop kidding myself. Vritra's the only one who has ever helped me get closer to understanding my voice, even if she keeps withholding the information she owes me. She definitely will. Last time I spoke with her, she seemed adamant that the delicate matter handled by Castle were crucial to her reaching some higher state of being and, in turn, giving me the knowledge I seek. Everything comes down to that vial. Well, if making sure Vritra gets the vial means an end to my eternal torment, sure as hell am willing to pay the price for it, no matter what it is. I straighten up and start walking towards the river. Vritra seems to know about Castle's intentions, and I'll be the one to tell her. Vile as she is, she appreciates loyalty above all else. I just hope Kali heeds reason and steers clear of her sire's path of self-destruction. Dangerous Liaisons, Part 3. Vritra is the only one who has ever brought me closer to understanding my voice. It's well worth informing her of Reynard Castle's nefarious plans for tomorrow. Vritra remains perfectly poised throughout my report, as still as a lake on a frigid winter's day. Only her eyes, cold, black, alien as they come, burn with the scorching fires of hatred and fury. Finally, after a long, heavy silence, she suddenly whips her head around and points at the henchman who accosted Kali and me a few nights ago. He shudders and shrinks as if struck. Gather Reynard's crew. The same one you assigned him, mistress, but... One glare is enough to send him scrambling away. The rest of Vritra's henchmen stand perfectly still and straight as if the smallest movement would result in obliteration. Knowing her, I'd say it's a valid assumption. What are you going to do? Now it's my turn to be on the receiving end of her piercing glare. I should really learn when to shut my gob. Let me be perfectly clear. Reynard Castle deserves whatever punishment you have in store for him, and more. But Kali's just another victim of his lies. I can talk some sense into her. Vritra silences me with a curt gesture, her fan slicing axe-like through the air. That's a fan? What the hell is that? I mean, it looks like a small axe, but I guess that's a fan. Whatever. You must have mistaken me for someone who cares. If you truly want the answers you seek, you will stand back and do nothing. Do you understand, boy? There is nothing I can really do but nod in silent agreement. With a wave of her hand, our meeting is done, and I'm unceremoniously escorted out. I stare into the dark waters, waiting for the RIB to arrive, but all I can see is fog slowly rising before my eyes. Snow falls softly, dusting my shoulders like I'm some decrepit statue, but I don't care. I don't know what to do. Questions about my voices have haunted me for over a century, decades upon decades of desperately searching. First for a way to silence the cacophony in my head, then to understand why that one voice refuses to yield. Years wasted on the unknown, no clues, no knowledge, nothing. And now when I'm so close to finally unraveling this mystery, when all the answers are just within grasp, do I give it all up just so Kali receives a warning? What do I gain, aside from a false sense of decency to assuage the gnawing guilt? Tell her, no, lie, forget about her. I can't even be bothered to reach for my ring. We're more important than that whelp, that runt, that girl. The voice is suspiciously silent. I need to help her. Whispers rattle around my head until I can't distinguish my thoughts from the voices, skittering around like rats in their cage. Hours, centuries, eons pass, and I remain without an answer. Meanwhile... How much longer do you reckon he'll hold on? His descent down the flagpole was rather swift. Just a few more inches, and it'll run him through completely. A pity. I thought he'd last longer. It seems Aaron Fletcher doesn't live up to his reputation. Speak your mind, Harpy. I'm merely trying to ensure that you're well, Sheriff. Your efforts here have been nothing short of exemplary. A masterful display of leadership. We dispatched those hunters with remarkable efficiency. Just look at the mound of their fallen. It's taller than both of us put together. All achieved no less without the Anarchs' help. Speaking of which, did our mediator even bother trying to justify their absence? No, he didn't. Oh, well, that certainly puts a dramatic stake in our truce, wouldn't you say? Arturo, my patience wears thin of late, even more so for sycophants. Speak plainly, or get out of my sight. See, this is precisely my point. And what might that be? Oh, I think you know. With Payne out of the picture and Pinard's influence virtually non-existent, there is no kindred strong enough to challenge you now. Wouldn't you agree, Prince Kadir al-Asmai? Where did we end up spending the night? I don't know. In spite of last night's paralysis, the second my eyes open, I've already made my choice, clear as the night sky. I'm accustomed to acting against my inner voices, to following the paths they bar, to hearing only those words that lead to truth. It's my nature to defy anyone else's choice, and that's exactly what I shall do. I shall defy the world. Do it for myself, not because of lofty goals and prevarications or the promise of a better future if my predictions come true. No, I want my answers, the ones that have been haunting me for so long. Standing in the way of those two ravens might be tantamount to suicide, but I'll be damned if I stand by idly when my very identity is at stake. If things go my way, nobody will have to get hurt, especially Kali. Whatever scheme Castle's concocted most likely includes her final death by design. But that doesn't matter. His plan won't come to fruition because I will do everything to ensure Vritra gets her prize, and then all will be revealed. And then we'll just see how good I really am at weathering the wrath of the storm. Not at all, apparently, although we don't exactly know what happens after he gets staked. Burned man! My thoughts are hazy, my mind filled with a cacophony of voices, but my purpose remains clear. I have to find the ravens and secure the vial for Vritra, no matter what it takes. No matter what it takes. See, the icon has the mirror, right? The Malkavian mirror for Pedric. This would have made at least a choice. Like, you wouldn't even have had to make the two timelines where you just pick one or the other and then experience it. You could, since none of the choices seem to have mattered much, what they could have done instead of having pointless side quests and whatever in there, they could have just made it so that, like, okay, here you can pick the choice for Kali, or here you can pick the choice for Pedric. So it still continues down that same storyline, but then you get to choose which perspective in the storyline you want to swap to without even having to, it could have all just been combined. Like, all the elements are literally in the game already, where they could have just made this smoother rather than playing through the game again knowing how it ends. It's weird. I don't know how long I've been sitting here behind the wheel. Frankly, I don't recall getting into my perfectly serviceable car, as Kali calls it. Everything's been hazy ever since I left the doorstep of my haven. My fingers are virtually fused to my ring and endlessly spinning, grappling with the endless clamor in my head. It feels as though hours have passed with me. It feels as though hours have passed with me staring blankly through the windscreen, my car shifting gears on its own, my hands gripping the steering wheel with none of my attention. My instincts have taken over completely. This detachment is so unlike my usual self, it almost makes me dizzy. Or perhaps that what I'm feeling is excitement. I honestly cannot tell. But you don't know. I get nothing, do ya? 20. It's a miracle I haven't hit anyone yet. The streets are crawling with mortals tonight. How come? Ah, right. It's New Year's Eve. I don't even know when I turned the music on. It must have been some time ago because the tape has already reached its end. Capstan rattling as it struggles with the worn magnetic tape. Curious, I eject the cassette, Queen mixtape. I turn it over, insert side B, and press play. I instantly recognize the somber opening synth. It's funny how fitting the song is. I'm not sure I know where I'm headed. Let us guide you, Fionn. Yes, I shall. But as the song goes, the dawn is almost breaking, and if I'm to follow this through to the end, the show must indeed go on. Careful, Fionn. I slam on the brakes the moment a frantic woman collides with the bonnet of my car. Before I can even step out, another frightened mortal scoops her up, and they both disappear into the scattering crowd. Then the rattle of gunfire pierces the air like sinister fireworks. The first thought that hits me sends a shiver down my spine. Did Castle's plan backfire? She's done for. Another bitch bites the dust. I am inured to the sound of gunfire, but in this moment it pierces my mind like a violent sound wave, breaking the walls of my composure, echoing with urgent questions. Did they secure the vial? Get nothing, lad. Nothing. Shite. I slam the door behind me and dash into an alleyway, dodging and weaving through the mass of panicked mortals, occasionally shoving them away. When the crowd becomes too dense, too chaotic to navigate, I leap onto a fire escape, grabbing it halfway up the second floor, and pull myself up onto the roof of a nearby building. Nobody even notices me. They're all fleeing in terror. My mind races with questions, matching the frantic pace of my feet as I sprint across rooftops. 2, 3, 5 buildings leaping from one to the next. And then I spot it, a grisly scene beside an unmarked van, surrounded by a couple of armed men surveying the area, most likely the SAD. They're visibly tense. They assess the damage, standing over a few fallen agents lying in puddles of their own blood. It flows slowly down the street, merging with another crimson stream that seeps out from an already decaying corpse. Like Kali had a big-ass fall. Little Kali had a big-ass fall. Is this? It cannot be. The day star hath not yet cometh. Not Kali, of course not. Now I see it clearly. She must have fled, perhaps following her cursed sire, his plague upon the world, Quill in the undead flesh, who probably has the vial in his diabolical hands. Oh, but 'tis Quill who holds the truth. My ring stops spinning just as another car screeches to a halt. 3 more SAD squad members jump out, guns at the ready, and judging by the chatter on their radios, there are more en route. Just as I duck behind the parapet, my eye catches a faint reddish glint down below. Blood trail leading into an inconspicuous alleyway. No more than a few drops, but it's unmistakable. The trail leads vaguely south toward the distant trees of Central Park, all shrouded in a thick layer of snow and laden with even more questions. And then, not far off, I spot an armed squad following the trail, so vivid to me and yet completely indiscernible to them, like mole rats caught in full sunlight. I could easily outrun them. Run, Fionn. So I run, like the beast I am, hungry not for blood, but for deliverance. I find Castle a few minutes later. Sprawled on the ground in the growing pool of his own vitae lies the man who almost conned the world. Or what's left of him, rather. Too late, delayed, out of date. Kali is nowhere to be seen. A sigh of relief escapes me, a useless but welcome sensation, quickly followed by a nagging fear that I can't quite put into words. She tricked you, you stupid blind idiot. I walk past the remnants of a bloodbath, the headless corpse of a kindred I know from Treacherous' ship. A few steps further, Tharmas, his neck savagely bitten through, likely by the dog that now lies dead beside him. Clutching my ring, I approach Castle and begin a restless search for his remains. Of his remains, I rummage through every pocket, every fold, even the lining of his coat, every conceivable place where he could have hidden the vial. He must have it. He must, because she couldn't. Help. I jerk back, almost stumbling, but quickly resume my frantic search. How did I miss him still being conscious? The vial, where is it? It's gone. Gone forever. Do I look like I have it on me, you fucking... How come you're always losing shit, lad? The ring spins and spins and spins again as I try to will it to do my bidding, but it just won't land on 20. Where is it? This is your play, huh? Trying to coerce Vitra? One of us. One of us. A sudden jolt of pain seizes him, erasing his sneer and forcing his teeth, or what remains of them, to clamp down on his tongue as if it would sever it. She tricked you. That lying skank. Bill Quill, man in myth. Kali has it. She took what's mine. You're lying. You're lying. I'm lying. He's lying. Everybody's lying. He gets out a gurgling, wheezing laugh like a deflated balloon, barely managing to keep his eyes on me, and I just stand there paralyzed, unable to think. Am I? The asking is yours. Where is she? The answer is not his. He flashes a toothless crimson grin at me, insufferably smug. A vile mug. Come on, don't let him insult you. End him! I just want to wipe that grin off with my heel. Suppose I should ask again. Because we track her down somehow. She goes back to the same place, though, right? Isn't it the same location? Just tell me where I can find her. No, King gesture, I'd much rather watch you scramble. His voice falters, choking back insults, leaving me with more questions than answers. Where did Kali go? Full of ourselves, are we? I just need a moment with her to explain things. She'll see reason. I know I can reach her, if only it's a way. She hates you. She remembers your every word. Roll 16. Bollocks. She can't be far. She's likely skulking in the shadows, staying low, escaping. Never find her, fucko, never. If only this clamor in my head ceased for just one fucking minute. I could sense her, feel her presence. Roll 6, roll 11, come on, roll 3, roll 20. Finally. Silence. Serenity. Sense the unseen. Where is she? I strain my mind, extending my consciousness beyond the confines of my physical form, expanding it until it fills my surroundings. Nothing. She's not here. She must have... There, heading south, right at the edge of my awareness. Moving fast. Fiendishly fast. If only I could catch. The excruciating pain in my shoulder suddenly breaks the communion with my mind. Whatever that's about, I glance at my chest. A gunshot wound. Lean through, the edges searing with pain and burns. SAD. Cacophony in my mind escalates into a constant droning, maddening, crippling pandemonium. Try as I might, coherent thought is just impossible. Another shot grazes my arm, the bullet passing by with a flaming tail that briefly illuminates the scene, leaving a searing mark on my coat. I don't stay to give them a third chance. Unseen passage. I am legion, I am none. I strain every fiber of my being to suppress the tormenting pain in my arm and hide in the liminal spaces between the edges of the bullets, reflected by them 1,000-fold, but unseen by the shooters. Hunched over like a wounded panther, I dash away, the shadows like wings sprouting from my back. The further from this madness, the better. Fatigue gets the better of me just as I'm leaving through the artisan's gate, right where I sensed Kali's presence, but she's not here. The droning noise intensifies by the minute, making a jumble of my head, of my already frantic thoughts, and I desperately need to think clearly. Never find Kali like this. I can't comb through the entire city with the vague hope of stumbling upon her again. Is this really how it ends? Will the answers once again slip from my grasp? Maybe this is not the end, Fionn. It sure looks like one. Find the Raven. How? Where do I start? Where can I find her? But you do know, Fionn. The thunderous roar of thousands of voices cheering for the new year reverberates through the streets. Past midnight, and I'm past having doubts. No. Yes, I think I do. Shadow of the Day Star. I'm oozing sanity. I can feel it on my skin. The voices know it too, as the thundering uproar drowns out everything else, but I can hold on a while longer. I must. Kali's RV is close, and I hope I can still reason with her, even though I can barely see reason myself. My recollection of how I arrived here is a blur, the wound in my chest pulsating with pain, the burns complicating the mending process. I must have wandered off the path several times because it's incredibly late, and soon the sun will crest over the skyline. How much time do I have left? An hour, perhaps, if even that? Finally, around the corner of the parking lot where I hope to find my friend, but I suspect this chapter may not end in friendship, given what I intend to do, and given what we intend to know. I'm gonna be real pissed if it just ends with us bleeding out as the sun shows up, and like there's no, post-credits scene of what happened to Pedrick. A wave of relief washes over me when I see her RV is still here. Kali hasn't left town yet. It's puzzling how I managed to get here first, but considering all that's happened tonight, she must have been slowed by her burdens. It's almost time. Yes, I can feel it now. I press my back against the RV, lurking in the shadows, counting off seconds, then minutes, straining to suppress the relentless droning. I spin my ring out of habit. It's a futile effort that only quiets the buzz for a few fleeting seconds now, but it pulls me back from the brink nonetheless. Thankfully, I don't have to wait too long. She's finally here, my companion in misfortune. And she looks... God save her. She's been through the ringer, caked in slush from head to toe, dark red stains marring her bizarre attire. The embodiment of despair. It's charming in a peculiar way. Maybe I should stop. Maybe... Wounds heal, Fionn. Who am I kidding? Stopping is no longer an option. I tread the path of Fionn, regardless of the cost. And even though I know the true toll of my quest, I will not back down, no matter how much pain it brings me. I step out from the shadows, ready for my grand performance. After all, I'm a natural-born thespian. Final act. My voice sounds different. It's probably the wound affecting it. Maybe that's what startled her, that odd, raspy timbre. Kali. My voice sounds different. Okay, well, I get that we're going insane here, but that seems like a mistake. Fucking hell, Pedrick, don't sneak up on me like that. If you're here just all I can do is mask the stinging pain, is to... All I can do to mask the stinging pain is to put on my usual blank stare. I realize what it must look like, but I have no other choice. She stops in her tracks. I've come to know her well enough to recognize her posture. She's ready to pounce or flee, though she hasn't decided which just yet. Instead, she just stares at me with those big sable eyes, depthless, full of grief and empathy. What's wrong? Are you hurt? I'm fine. It seems the SAD has started hiring amateurs, or they're just slipping up, as I'm sure you're well aware. Somehow it feels wrong to exploit that side of her, the side she typically shields with her odd sense of humor. Makes me feel as though I'm mocking her. I'm sorry about Reynard. I get that he was a flawed man who caused you more than enough suffering, but grief is rarely just black or white, is it? And while I never knew my own sire, I can sympathize. I'm just truly sorry for your loss. How do you... been spying on me? Shrug with one shoulder at the picture of nonchalance. Knowing things is what I do. Knowledge is power, right? And on the topic of knowledge, I take a step towards her, but she instinctively steps back and tenses up, taking an even more defensive stance. But I can't back down. Why don't you hand over the vial? Her expression shifts entirely, empathy giving way to anger, and she finally pieces my intentions together. But the show must go on. All this time. You lying sack of shit. Let me help you, sure. Do you really want this burden on your hands? The very prize your sire sought at your expense? Let me ease your ordeal. Hand it over. No, absolutely not. I pinch the bridge of my nose, genuinely tired this time. Blood droning is driving me mad. Don't make this harder than it needs to be. I'm asking nicely, for now. And I'm refusing nicely. Fuck off. I'm not giving you anything. She hisses at me, back hunched and fangs bared. There's curiosity in her eyes, a desire to understand. Why? Why the hell are you doing this? To kiss the sheriff's ass? To put me in my place? Tell me. I can at least offer her that much. I told you, it's knowledge I'm after. Be more specific. I'm just a blind tool, remember? Golly. If only the droning would cease for one fucking minute. My past? Sure. I told you about my Malkavian heritage. It has plagued me for as long as I can remember. That vial contains my heritage, not yours. That vial, more than anything, holds immense power, a force vast enough to either usher in our doom or unlock the gateway to uncharted possibilities. It all hinges on who claims it first. It's just too intense. I can't make any sense of their words, only the constant thundering buzz. Vritra is certain the blood will expand her mind. She assures me it would grant her unique insight into the nature of our kind, and in turn the nature of my voice. She just stares at me, mouth agape. Are you fucking serious right now? My head is spinning, but I managed a curt nod. I don't even know where to start. You've been in cahoots with Vritra the whole time? Thought you made me think you were scared shitless of her. I am scared of her. I really am, but... Stop it, please. Kali, I'm far older than you, 4 times your age at least. I survived the fall of London. I've witnessed the true extent of the eternal struggle. I've even learned to outsmart the conflicting voices in my head, but this one bizarre, distinct voice, I have to know why it still haunts me. I can't go on without answers. Vritra, she promised me that... She bursts out laughing, her face a mixture of fury and disbelief. It's irritating. She promised you, really? Absolute moron. Kali, I've never met her, not even once, and I'm 100% sure she's gonna fuck you over. How could she not? She fucks over everyone. She doesn't understand. At times she might, but I don't have that luxury. You don't know her like I do. I've been in talks with her for months. She's reasonable, if strict. Stay on her good side, and she delivers on her promises. How can you be so naive? Has she actually come through on anything she's promised, or has she just been stringing you along, using those promises as bait? I shake my head, desperately trying to quiet the incessant droning. Her ignorance is of little help. Just hand over the vial. Patty, wake up. Your obsession is leading you right to your own pit of decay. I am awake. I am... What happened to your instincts? To all the voices that prophesy the future? Where are they now when you're about to entrust Vritra with unimaginable power? She simply has no idea what it's like, this sorry existence of perpetual conflict with myself, this never-ending tug of war over who dictates my moves, what I... If only she tried to... Can't you see the end of the world in the making? What's wrong with you? Don't know who I am? There is no me. I want to snap her neck, break her in two, reduce her to nothing, so maybe I'm out of control, standing here like a wild animal, fangs bared, fingers curled into claws and primed for a fight. It must be that maddening buzz. It must be, otherwise... Silence, you. I'm going to ask you one last time, please hand over the vial. I know the past few nights have been hell for you, through no fault of your own, and for what it's worth, I've grown to like you. I really don't want this to get ugly. But I need that vial, so hand it over. Now. You're smart, one of the smartest kindred I've ever met, but you're too stupid to see that I can't do that. I won't. She turns away from me. I can't let her. Mesmerize. Let go. Give me the vial. In an instant, I extend my mind, slithering into Kali's consciousness, replacing her will with my own. Her limbs stiffen and her head freezes in place. She's a marionette, and I, the puppeteer, have just pulled their strings taut. Her legs are shaking with the strain of fruitless protest, but she walks towards me, step by step. I look at her steadily, one hand extended and fingers dancing subtly, orchestrating her every move. And she can't stop. No matter how much she screams inside her head, urging her muscles to defy me, there's nothing she can do to break free from my indomitable will. I didn't ask for any of this, and neither did she. But the show must go on. She marches right up to me, and slowly, with a trembling hand, she reaches into her belt bag. Wow, it's so close I can almost feel it. Let go. What? Let go, Fionn. My hand drops towards my dice ring. Why? Asking is yours. I begin to spin the ring erratically, yet nothing feels different. What's changed? You both have, Fionn. I don't understand. I don't understand anything anymore. What was all of it for? To just surrender in the end? What purpose does any of this serve? It is finished. The world around me seems to crumble, the starry sky rolling down like a curtain, the buildings toppling over onto my head. And then I realize it's not the world falling. I am. As I hit the ground, I notice the wooden stake I gave Kali on the first night we met, now driven right through my own lifeless heart. I slump onto the snow with a silent thud, but I feel nothing. My body numb, my mind non-existent. No pain, no tension, no impact. It's as if I'd never possessed any senses at all. I can't move a muscle, not even to look around. I just lie there, dazed, astonished, and absolutely terrified. A soft crunch of snow betrays Kali's approach. She looks down at me with anger and remorse. The worst part is, this isn't even your fault. I can't respond. I want to, more than anything in the world, but no words escape my throat. I want to tell her it's all right, that I understand why she did it, that I see her internal battle, her struggle. But we both know she can't undo it, because neither of us would relent. And so she leaves me there, defenseless against whatever may come, the roar of her RV's engine fading into the distance until I know she's well and truly gone. Why did my voice stop me? Why do things happen as they do, Fionn? Even the passage of time is now beyond my grasp, but I must have been lying here for at least half an hour. The orange hue of the sky hints as much. Dawn is breaking, and the sun will rise within moments. This is how it ends, not what I would have expected. But all I can do now is embrace my end. My, look at that. The beautiful, incandescent, merciless... It's hard to maintain any dignity when your body sears with pain, and it starts immediately as the first rays of the sun caress my skin. I want to scream, but I have no mouth. I have no hands, yet I hold on. That's all I have left. Defiance. Let go. My senses go further into overdrive with each passing second. My vision's flooded with indescribable images, my hearing a chaotic mix of screams, gunfire, queen, explosions, constant droning, Kali's voice, footsteps in the snow. I knew it. Let go, Fionn. I can't. It hurts so much. All you must do is ask. Please. Slated parking lot. The rubbing, twisting beneath the gauze of my consciousness, creepy, but at the flux of it, all those winding tendrils. It's all about the depth. Like a vault, a sanctum where echoes play mischievous games, parading memories and images, not just mine, oh no, but theirs. A shared river of ceaseless whispers. Fionn. Not alone, never were, enmeshed as one in a hazel bush, blood and fangs and hunger and madness, straddling the blade between the I and the we, the singular and the plural, voracious and raw. It hungers for the primal pulse, the ancient call to the feasts of Mogmael. Fionn. Yet I strive, I, singular, alone, encased in a shell of reason, battling the tidal waves of collective murmurs, like the sun's last reluctant rays, clinging to the thought that we are not mere players, but the play itself, not just storytellers, but also the story. Anchor yourself, Fionn. I am Fionn, and yet I am not him as well. But here I stand. Now I can feel it, the quiet whisper of 1,000 voices pulling at me, tearing me apart, breaking me down into pieces. Yet somehow I always reassemble. I see nothing, yet I sense everything. The intricate web, the lattice of interwoven truths, lies, madness, sheer, utter insanity. But in this moment I am calm. It's peaceful here. The incessant droning has ceased, replaced by a soft, distant murmur echoing through... Where am I? Collective. What do you mean? Here all our wills weave together. I don't understand. All you must do is ask, Fionn. Ask what? I'm so lost. I'm so tired. Who are you? This is not the question. Indulge me for a moment. I've wrestled with this enigma for ages. Who are you? We are you, Beyond. The voice is ever present, elusive, saturating the vast, endless expanse around me. It is within me, encircling me completely, resonating with the very core of my being. It echoes through every aspect of my existence, a constant, implacable force, and it plays games with me. Who am I, then? You are the seed from which we grow anew. I tire of these games, speak plainly. Words are frail. Words are all I have left. You must want beyond what if you are... You must want beyond want, if you are to understand. You must dream, covet, crave, lust. You must hunger. You must set aside your ego and give yourself to the oneness, and the asking is yours. So long I've craved, yearned, dreamt of this moment. Now that it's here, I find myself at a loss. I want to know. It's the one thing I've wanted for decades upon decades upon decades. I decided long ago that no matter the cost, I would pay it. But I'm incensed. It's the same cycle over and over again, the promise of an answer only to be pacified with another promise, an endless loop of deception, one I don't care for anymore. But most of all, I'm just so tired, so utterly exhausted. I'll just ask. I'm yours to take. Make me understand, please. My question echoes through the void, and in that defining moment, I finally realized that what I was missing all those long decades it doesn't matter. My mind begins to crumble bit by bit, memory by memory. Each precious fragment of my existence, every whispered conversation, every stolen glance, every lie told, every truth unspoken, flashes vividly before my eyes, a relentless, swirling tempest of images and sensations. Those memories gleam with the intense clarity of a star burning too brightly in the night sky, before they dissolve into the abyss, consumed by an invisible flame. I'm an observer, dispassionate and distant, watching the very essence of who I was evaporate into nothing. And in this eerie void where my emotions should roar, something new arises, something that's not me, because I was never here. I never was. I don't know the lore of the Malkavians well enough, but clearly they have some kind of collective conscious thing, and that was probably the sire speaking to us. Alright, we'll just skip this. We go... Probably not, huh? Is there a new game after this? No. Can we go to... Just continue. I only want to go in here for a moment. Logbook. I guess it would be glossary. Malkavians. Derided by lunatics. The blood of the Malkavians lets them perceive and foretell truths hidden from others. Wise madmen of poetry. Their fractured perspectives stem from seeing too much of the world at once. Probably because of all the... I would have to actually look... I would have to look at the wiki probably to get an in-depth, but that's just my assumption. It seems that they do all have a collective mind, the shattered mirror, the fragments of the same thing. Shit. That's all I gotta say. This game's pretty shit. I think that this one came out a year after this one, and then this one is like 3 years after this one or something. It's a couple years old, I think. At least one. I want to say 23, but I don't remember. Anyway, yeah, what the fuck was this? This wasn't even a game. I don't know, I've complained about this enough throughout the past several episodes, but just like, this was done so poorly. You know, this one here, you had 3 choices. And while I'm sure the story overall was the same, it would at least let you experience it differently based upon the vampire clan you chose. This one definitely had your choices matter, because there is one ending which leads to this story, and the other ending which does not. And frankly, I kind of don't like that choice. I don't like that she showed up again. I mean, obviously it is telling the story of New York through whatever part of the role-playing game storyline this was, but because then it tells you that there's a definitive ending. You know, like, it could have... This one overall is ambiguous, right? Because whoever we were in this one didn't carry over into this one, and not even into this game, right? So by forcing this one to have a definite conclusion, you know, there is the bad ending. You chose wrong. Play it again. Try it again. So that you know what the actual story of hers was to lead her to this one. feel like they could have done without that. They could have branched off and just left her out of it entirely. Just kept the main background characters there. Maybe we come across her or whatever. But overall, this one could have been separated from it, and it just could have been more interesting. Unless I don't see how any of the choices I made would have mattered to the story. All they seemed to do was change the dialogue a little bit, but the results, the outcome was still the same. At which point we were just reading a novel. What was the point? What was the point of the Pedric thing? Like I said, there was a much, much better way they could have done this. Just by integrating them, choosing, being given actual choices that mattered, like choose Collie's thing, no, choose Pedric's thing. And then if you want to see what happened to the other, you'd have to play it again, right? Just the amount of time wasted going through him. I mean, this is clearly a bonus. You have to unlock Pedric after the main story. So we could have just skipped through time, skipped to only his stuff. There were literally two choices they could have made. One, just bonus content campaign, basically, not going through all the story again, not making dialogue choices that changed the timeline. Or make one singular timeline and then you pick and choose who you're playing as. That would have just made it so much more interesting, so much less of a hassle. Anyway. That's it. That's done. They probably will not make another one. I think they probably just rushed a trilogy because they felt like it. And there are many other Vampire the Masquerade games. None of them made by the same studio, though. In fact, they all seem much more simplified. But I don't know that I will play them. And then there's like an action adventure one. I don't know. They're letting the IP out and be used by people, but whatever. We're done here, so thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next Let's Play.